You're live on all the socials.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Ready to do another show tonight, kids?
Hi, everyone.
We're in a weird mood.
He is. Graham is a peppy boy.
Preppy? Peppy boy?
No, peppy.
Used to be preppy.
I did not. That is untrue.
He was like, don't you dare
That's
insult me.
completely untrue. I was never a lax bro that wore sweaters over my shoulders. Okay.
I was totally
Boat shoes.
I was
Didn't
totally,
own any of those.
I was totally a preppy in high school.
I have boat
I
shoes.
can see that.
I
Collar up.
have boat shoes right now.
I got boat shoes right now too. We are Annapolitan, so
You have to have boat shoes
that's
in
a
Annapolis.
requirement. You're not allowed to not have boat shoes and be Annapolitan, you know. So we ready to do a show, kids?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hi, this is Ben Kay, the Chorley FC groundsman on the Drunkard United Football Show, and you're with the gruesome twosome Sams.
So I talked with our good friend Ben
Did you?
Kay, of Accrington Stanley.
Of course, yeah. The
but-
Leyton Orient of the North.
Yeah, he has said that he is very much looking forward to coming in on the show and catching up with us.
Oh, great.
So we figured FA Cup, it's a good start. Let's start the show.
Come on.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the third round of the FA Cup as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is the happiest boy in the room because he loves him some third round weekend.
I
Mr.
do.
Sammy Graham. How you doing, Sammy?
Good. And it didn't disappoint this weekend, did
Oh,
it?
it was fantastic. We had some great fucking matches, man. There's a ton in here. I mean, we're going to keep it more Premier League based, but there was a couple of great ones in there that we're not even going to even talk about. You know, like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the Sunderland beating Shrewsbury at the death after being down 1-0 the entire match.
Yep.
You know, it's much like somebody else who might have lost at the death after having a 1-0 lead most of the game.
Uh-oh.
Mel, do you know anything about that?
No, we just had different travel plans.
Sam
We're
and
recording at
myself.
the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. There's a reason why I drive the bus killer. And you can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It is dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And, of course, as always, at DU Football Show on all the social medias. Make sure you find Drunkard United FC on Facebook, our closed group. Request to join that because that is where all of the hashtag bants happen.
And, of course, as you see, Mr. Graham and I are wearing our DU Football Show shirts. It is worth mentioning we are not the only ones that were wearing our DU Football shirts.
No, we're not.
Mr. Taylor, our P1 of all P1s, Mel's personal favorite, close confidant and friend, was out on the West Coast because he's a huge TCU fan, and he's out at the national championship game on tonight, Monday night. This is obviously going to be out tomorrow. But took a picture of him on the East Coast and on the West Coast of him in his DU football shirt.
Doesn't surprise me at all that he's out there supporting the Horny Frogs.
You know what kind of annoys me is he couldn't spend the money to come back out here for your roast, but he can go see his old daddy's team. That's not fair. instead of current daddy's birthday.
You know, that's how I roll. How I roll.
JK.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep passionate love for all this things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, quite an interesting offering tonight. Tell us all about it from Whiskey Advocate.
Yes, so my golden bottle, because I was born on the 17th. It's number 17. Get it?
Yep.
This is the Indri single malt whiskey, the Trini, Indie Trini. Indri Trini. That's hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, it's their 3 wood. It should run you roughly $60 on the shelf. 92 proof on this one. They've rated it a 94. This is an Indian single malt, and your blurb comes from Johnny McCormick. This must-try Indian whiskey comes from a village distillery running on renewable energy in the foothills of the Himalayas. Former Amrut master blender Surinder Kumar demonstrates his unerring sense of balance, pace, and control over the fast-maturing single malt, which is distilled from organically grown 6-row Indian barley indigenous to Rajasthan. Flavors of vanilla, citrus peel, baked peach, hazelnut, and cassis attest to the complex contributions from the first fill bourbon, French wine, and PX sherry casks.
Very nice. That's what I was wondering.
And I think I know where we got the heat from.
Okay.
And that's those French wine casks.
Oh, definitely. It does say on here that Indri in Sanskrit refers to the 5 senses, or Indriyana is what they said. So I do think it's very interesting. There's
a lot going on in that.
There is an awful lot going on in that whiskey. It's
Why'd you choose the most difficult route?
No, because I was, 50-50, and I was going to hit the mic either way.
For anybody watching, instead of just doing this, Mel handed it to herself, and then went underneath the other thing.
Yes, it was. It's like a game. I get a little menthol in this to me. Not so much eucalyptus, more so menthol. It's a very I don't know how I 100% feel about this. Like, oh my God, this blows me away. But I know this much. It's very intriguing. It's interesting to hear that it's 6-row barley, because typically 2-row is what a lot of people use.
Yeah.
And 6-row tends to be a little grainier, where 2-row tends to be a little bit maltier. But at least tickle me impressed. Like, it's something kind of outside of the box of what I normally drink of whiskey.
Right.
So, yeah, it's an interesting whiskey.
It's interesting, and there is a big tobacco up front for me as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't lend to your traditional kind of caramel and honey that you would get from
an American
white oak barrel at all. I do kind of end with like a stone fruit almost, and again, that's got to be from either the pit, but sherry's more nuttiness. That has to be from the French.
Fruit,
it has to be from like apricot.
Yeah,
has to be from the French wine barrels.
Yeah,
and that opened way up with that ice. When we tried it neat during injury time, that burned from here to here. I told you, we talked about it, and you can find that at patreon.com/GFootballShow.
End quote. Pacific Coast, Pacifico. Cheers, boys.
Ah, there he is.
Finally.
Love it. Disregard all the shit Graham was just talking about you.
I didn't talk no shit. I just said he's a bad friend. That's all.
Taylor, while we got you out there in the internet world, just want to say real quick, buddy, good luck to you guys tonight. Hope you all bring it home. So.
I picked the over on the spread for Georgia. But I really am rooting for y'all. I'll part with that. I'll gladly part with that $5.
You know what? Good news. Good news. Graham bet on it. Means the opposite's going to happen.
That was part of my thinking. Either I'll win a little bit of money, or Taylor will be really happy.
Yep. Like it.
And I'll be happy for him because I only lost a $5.
Yeah. So we had an Indian whiskey on the list last year with the Rampur Cabernet finish. And that had very much more a reflective of a Scottish single malt kind of aged in wine barrel kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is very different, very interesting. I honestly, if you're looking to have something else, like you're like, oh, I want to have something different, I'd recommend this bottle. I would absolutely recommend this bottle to someone. Say, you know what, give this one a try. It's not what you're going to expect it to be, but that's a good thing. Yeah, I really like it.
It's interesting. It's really interesting.
This will be a fun one to see how the Patreon and Whiskey Club people respond to this one when we do the 20 whiskeys on the back deck night.
Those idiots don't know what they're talking about.
Taylor says bookies don't recognize your bets as part of a parlay.
Actually, they got a little fight with him earlier about that.
What, about the fucking corner kick?
Oh, no, I was trying to parlay something about the Arsenal game today, and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
So I had to go on a different app.
Already. We are how many minutes into this, and there's already been a pro Arsenal agenda?
It's only a matter of time. Okay, what else do we got to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly, Elmo.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Oh, forgot about that. Didn't want to tickle you broken.
Heard. Well, maybe you should turn that mug and look at it real quick.
No.
Yeah.
I prefer the smiley face.
Abby's judging. Abby's judging. I'm going to put it right there so you can see her judging. It's the best weekend of footy, Graham. It is.
It's my favorite.
It's so much fun. It's an open tournament, and we will talk about that a little bit in just a second. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to focus mostly on the Prem teams because, let's face it,
That's
we're a
what we
Premier
do,
League
yeah.
show. But we have to open the first segment with a couple of National League sides and their stellar performances.
100%.
Wrexham 4, Coventry City 3, Chesterfield 3, West Brom 3.
Yeah.
Wrexham Coventry was fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That match was fucking insane. 2-0, 20 minutes in. 2-0. Wrexham's up 2-0. How you doing?
So-
fucking championship side against fucking National League side.
Right. So, I pulled an old one out of the bag for this one. Dilly ding, dilly fucking dong, man. And this was something Claudio Ranieri would have been super happy about. It was end to end. There was not short of action by any means whatsoever. And Wrexham held their own and were quite good throughout the game. It wasn't until I mean, maybe Coventry just had too many men on the field. Maybe that happened.
They needed to go down a man to figure out how their attacking formation.
But that happened years ago. Gilberto Silva got sent off against Sheffield United back in the day when they were up under the tutelage of Neil Warnock way back when. And with 10 men on the field, a young, I think 17-year-old Cesc Fabregas took over, and Arsenal ended up winning 2-1 after being 1-0 down.
Yep.
We had too many men on the field. It was crowded.
Yeah, you
couldn't play the football we wanted to play.
Make a little more space out there. That's what had to happen.
Apparently, that Coventry is on Arsenal's level.
It was funny because the second goal, which was crazy from Wrexham, it was definitely a cross, right? It was
I don't know.
It was a cross.
I don't know. The way he hit it, it looked like a shot. But I mean, it's hitting hope. I'll give you that. But it's one of those, I'm going to put it in this danger area and see what happens.
Yep.
And it happened to bend in. Oddly enough, that is also the only goal that I ever scored in college was similar.
Was something like that?
I was on the right. No, I scored two, actually. One was the wind, literally.
Right.
It was a cross that got caught in the wind and wrong-footed the goalkeeper. And the other one was a cross that caught the inside of the post.
There we go.
That no one got a touch on the way through. But yeah, it was insane. It looked beautiful. And obviously you're going to do it. And a lot more big dick energy, Mel, if you didn't see the celebration.
Oh, yeah.
When he dumped, he had his old hog sticking out.
It was turgid. He was very happy about the goal.
Yeah. And a little stiffy.
So the game starts to settle down and Coventry go back to 2-1, but then 7 minutes of extra time added to the end of the first half, and Wrexham find themselves right at the end of the half up 3-1.
And that was comical at best. I mean, how many headers do you let them have?
Oh, I know.
The ball never touched the ground again, and it was one touch, back, forth, head, until it finally fell to somebody in the six, and it was the slowest dive I've ever seen a goalkeeper do.
Oh, I know.
I mean, honestly.
It was almost like
it was pitiful.
It was almost like he was doggy paddling in the air, trying to make himself go higher. It was like, I could get there, I could get there.
It was pitiful. Fucking flat, birdie flap. That ball's well past him. It's so strange.
And then second half, around 65th minute, red card, handball in the box. Clear as day, he stuck out the arm. Yes, it's double jeopardy that it's a penalty and it's a red card, but it took away a goal. The ball was going in the back of the net, so it's got to be a red. And then Paul Mullins, their Wrexham's key striker.
Call him by his Christian name, please.
Super Paulie Mullins.
Thank you.
That's the song. So he goes ahead and puts one away. And here you are. They sub him right off because it's like, well, all right, we got our 4-1 lead done and dusted. Let's see this shit out. Wait.
Yeah.
You said, Graham, Coventry just needed to get that guy off the pitch. They just needed a little more room to be a little more expansive. And then next thing you know, I mean, by the 80th minute, it's 4-3, and Coventry is putting it all on Wrexham.
Yeah, so I think the message finally got from the bench to the players, stop fucking about. Stay compact, stay organized. You have a free man, so someone stay free, organize, and help where it needs to be helped.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And they kind of fell within a shell, and it was impenetrable. Now, talking about the double jeopardy thing, that only pertains to tackles where you need to have a genuine attempt at the ball
Right.
that you miss, which we'll come on to later, because I thought really Dendoncker probably shouldn't have seen red in the Villa-Stevenage match.
I don't disagree. We'll talk about
But
that.
as two comparisons, this was the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, gross misconduct, an intentional handball on the line, to save, essentially. We saw that also in a different game
Right.
as well, which probably the save of the weekend, to be honest, in that one.
But then also
Definite red.
But then also it was at Villa, so and like I said, we'll get into it in the next segment. It was at Villa, so VAR was involved. This was at Championship Coventry City. There ain't gonna be no VAR.
Which
is
should be VAR for all or VAR for none.
Yeah, it's Sam says it all the time. It bears
What are you, a
repeating.
three-varveteer?
Mr. Graham, you've said
Three
it
bars for all, or bar to whatever.
Please say it again.
Bar for mankind, whatever it
because
is.
it's worth bringing up. It's absolutely worth bringing up. Please say what you always say about this tournament.
You're playing a competition under two sets of rules. Now, I understand that the two teams on the field are playing under the same set of conditions. However, what happened, I guess it really doesn't matter. This actually hurts my argument because VAR wasn't useful in the Liverpool Wolves game, apparently.
True. Or if,
So what's the point?
If Everton is playing a championship side at a championship place, that goal stands, it's 2-2, you're going to a replay. But instead, it gets called back because Demarai Gray's foot is literally off by the front part of his cleat.
Well, Eddie Nketiah's first goal today, because we were at Oxford.
Yeah.
That his first goal, there was a hint of offside there.
But it doesn't get looked at.
It doesn't even get looked at because there's no VAR.
Yeah, it just should be, honestly. And
I like the Liverpool Wolves one. Lopetegui was showing apparently, or was trying to show their tactical cameras, I guess, that they use on their iPads, where they can show players coming on, like, look at this pattern of play. You got to watch this when you go on there, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. So apparently their tactical cameras could show that the player was onside, but the VAR cameras couldn't. So it was like, did you move the VAR camera when you were putting your tactical cam in place?
Weird. The problem is with that VAR, they forgot the live and pool that go behind that VAR, around that VAR. Live VAR pool, I met a couple of Liverpool supporters today at the guild meeting that I was doing.
Nice.
Lovely people. Didn't talk to them.
But it just, for me, it's unless all, 700 teams that enter this tournament are playing under the same set of rules, it's not fair.
Yeah, just don't have it.
It is
Honestly,
not fair.
don't.
Well, you can't have it because the vantage points in the lower league stadiums, especially the non-league ones, you have a financial outlay to fit the stadium with VAR in the first place anyway. But if you can't do it, then don't have it, period.
Well, and then you also have players who play without it all the time, so they think they can get away with shit.
Right.
Eye in the sky is going to catch you. That
At a ground they're not used to, absolutely.
Changes the way you play a game. I mean, and that's where we're going to go into the next one here with Chesterfield and West Brom, which, by the way, of National League sides, currently Notts County is like 6 points ahead of Wrexham. Wrexham's second, Chesterfield's third, and they're a point separated in the National League.
Yep.
So, and both teams came fucking proper.
Oh, yeah, big time.
You think about it, West Brom scores, what, in like the first 90 seconds?
Within the first 2 minutes, yeah. And Asante, and it was a fucking screamer as well. It was a decent goal.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Great cutback, half volley.
Boom. All six of these. This reminds me of that Middlesbrough game that we had last year that was like 7-5 or some shit.
Yeah.
That was just like every goal was
100%.
like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, but like when I saw this goal, the first time I saw this back on the highlights, it took me back to when I was just a wee boy in your garage taking my first shot of Jaeger. And me, you, and Rob were playing soft tip darts on the back of the board. And you hit the check dart and you went, bang! So as that ball came into him,
That's what went through your head.
bang!
Bang! I love it. Fucking love it. Now, but with that great goal, only to find before halftime, Chesterfield ties it. West Brom goes back up. Chesterfield scores 2 unanswered.
Yep.
Halftime. How you doing? Chesterfield up 3-2.
Yeah.
In their building that, by the way, is fucking rocking.
Great atmosphere.
Rocking.
And it was what was his name there? Dabra.
Yeah.
His second
Albanian.
goal. Terrible touch from the rebound. Put it way too far out in front of him, but he was able to catch up to it, and then bang! And he smacked the shit out of it past the goalkeeper.
I'm surprised he didn't rip a hole through the top of the net. I mean, he just was like,
it was fucking nuts.
This hit, rocket, boom.
Yeah, it was wild, man. And then it just kept going. That frenetic pace just kept up. Now the goals didn't really come.
It never
in the
slowed
second
down.
half.
There was balls off the post. It was it was
the pace of the
insanity.
game continued.
And that's where we get into VAR and what they missed. Again, Asante's a championship player. He knows that he can get away with shithousery. Right into the center back as the center back's running right up at
Josh
him.
King, I think his name is.
Flat out, full elbow, WWE people's elbow rock fucking style. Whack right in the fucking head.
Did he do the eyebrow too?
He probably did. I couldn't get the close up, but I bet you he did. And again, we're playing under a different set of rules. If that's a Premier League stadium, VAR, the ref doesn't even have to see it. VAR is in his ear going, you might want to check this out real quick. I saw a little bit of shithousery going on.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
And that would have been a red, and he would have been gone.
So besides the fact that he's the one that scores, that's not even the total part of the controversy. It happened within like 30 to 45 seconds of that incident. King was off the field, who would have been marking him anyway.
Yep.
King was off the field receiving treatment from the elbow.
In the 93rd minute, when he
found himself clean through, unmarked completely. That was a lovely finish, a great cushioned header just to keep it under the
was
bar.
Perfect, yeah.
Yep. But he shouldn't have been on the field. And even still, continuing on while someone's receiving treatment, I mean, then why wouldn't I just go kick someone?
Right, exactly.
Now, we got a man advantage for 2 minutes.
Right.
So in the 89th minute, I should just run around and headbutt someone.
Right.
Or, whatever.
And you could tell Chesterfield was just desperately trying to hold on at that point, which, exactly what you got to do. But again, you look at this and you're like, Chesterfield hard done. Now, I mean, they go and they play the replay at West Brom, which they'll be not Premier League money, but there'll be a little kickback. I mean, West Brom does well, and that'll be helpful to Chesterfield as a squad. But still, you look at that and you go, yeah, we should have won that fucking game.
100%.
We should have won that match. That guy should not have been on the fucking pitch. There's no reason why he... And also, I mean, you think about it. Asante threw that fucking elbow because Chesterfield was in his fucking dome.
Oh, yeah.
They were
big time.
They were figuring out a way to come away with that game, and it was just like, oh, man, so close. It fucking sucked. But what I just... This is what makes the cup so great, right? It is the out of nowhere team that you've never heard of before. Now, granted, we all have heard of Wrexham because of
the show and Ryan Reynolds and all that
Rob
stuff.
buying the team and all that kind of stuff.
Deadpool FC.
Rob put up a very funny post after he saw the draw. He was like, Sheffield went there last year. Really lovely people, but you need to understand they're the enemy now, and I hate them with all of my being, and I hope we win. I'm like, yeah!
That's funny.
Rob's getting the hang of it.
He's figuring it out.
He's a Philly boy, so he really fucking gets
great.
it.
Careful. Don't let Rob McElhenney buy batteries when he goes to Sheffield.
Heard. Real quick before we get into the next segment, Sam, just kind of, again, recap for everybody exactly what the FA Cup is and why we just love it as much as we do.
So it is the oldest knockout tournament in the world, and as long as you are a football team, a registered football club, and you have the buy-in to the tournament, the fee to enter the tournament, you are allowed to play in the tournament. So there's over 700 teams that enter. There are multiple preliminary rounds that start in like late July, early August that we never really get to see because it's all of the non-league sides. There are 10 tiers to the British, the English Football League pyramid. And the top 4 leagues are the ones you've heard of. League 1, League 2, the Championship, not in order. It's League 2, League 1, Championship, and then the Premier League, obviously, which we follow mostly. But there's more than that. There's the National League. There's the Conference North, the Conference South. There's this, that, it goes down all the way through. And Wrexham are in the 5th tier, I believe.
The National League.
Of English football. So they're not a full-time professional club. A lot of their boys, and this is true for most of these teams from that point downward, don't have full-time jobs, or have full-time jobs, rather, and play football on the side for a little extra money.
Some of them make decent money, but not a lot of them.
And now you can still loan. There's still registered football teams. So, like, you can loan a player.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Arsenal could loan a kid to Wrexham. So that kid, though, would be paid probably more than their entire squad because he's an Arsenal boy. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a Premier League paycheck. And Arsenal more than likely would cover 90% of the dude's wages because Wrexham can't afford to.
Right, just to let him go.
Kind of thing.
Play.
Right. Exactly. Just to learn what's happening. Get some regular football. So it's a ton of fun. It's a straight knockout competition.
Blind draw.
And you're just a ball in a hat. I mean, literally, the first ball out is the home team. The second ball out's the away team.
For fuck's sake, Man City played Chelsea in the 3rd round of the FA Cup this week. It's
complete blind draw. And there's a couple others that I'll go through towards the end with just some notable, hey, check this out, kind of cool. Like Grimsby Town's result, for instance.
Yep.
It was 2 lower league teams. One of them, I think, non-league. But Grimsby ended up going through, which I think they're a League 2 side.
Yeah.
So there's, so you'll get these games that's a guaranteed lower league team going on to the next round.
Boreham Wood and Aki, League 1 and non-league.
League 1 and non-league, exactly right. And the Wood, you'll remember from last year's Cup run.
Everton knocked him out in the 5th round. Mel, what you got for us?
Well, Christian's watching because, he's a good supporter. And he
Christian.
said those smaller leagues where you get clubs like Dorking Wanderers. Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And fans like John the Toaster.
Yep. I remember John the Toaster.
Yeah, inexplicably turns up with a toaster taped to his head.
Because why the fuck not?
Does it work?
Why the fuck not?
I think he had to find an outlet, but I think he did have an electrical cord dangling from it, yes.
All right. Well, I'm just
theoretically, yes.
If John the Toaster is not actually toasting toast, then it's just John with an appliance on his head. I'm just saying.
I will just say, Mr. Graham, there is a professional team coming to the Annapolis area, and we do love wearing our fucking flag and having Old Bay. So I have a feeling that there's going to be something involving that with one of our idiot supporters. Maybe this idiot supporter, for all I know.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing tournament, and what you always get is it's always luck of the draw. You never know, and most of the time Everton gets screwed. We had 8 Premier League sides bow out, but 3 of them find themselves in a replay. And some of those guys, their matches sting just a little bit more.
And also potentially a 9th team, because remember, Wolves and Liverpool will be decided in the replay.
Exactly.
And the guaranteed Premier League club going out, 9 is a record for the 3rd round, by the way.
So
replay sounds dumb.
But some of those sting a little bit more because, as we were talking, David beat a Goliath. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Newcastle 1, Stevenage 2, Aston Villa 1, Cardiff City 2, Leeds 2. What is it about keepers against Newcastle in the FA Cup?
It's Newcastle's history in the FA Cup, and we make fun of them all the time because in the modern era, they're probably the ones that we point to as being the worst. They've made it past the 3rd round like once in 15 years. I do want to point out that Goliath is a relative term.
True.
Because Villa,
the same thing.
This is Villa's 8th loss in the 3rd round in a row.
Yeah, it is.
Newcastle, as I said, once in 15, and largely they played the side we expected Steve Bruce to be putting out in the championship this season, were it not for the cash injection last January.
Very true. Very fair.
So, obviously, we see how they would have gotten on. They're probably a mid-table club in the championship. Luckily, the upstanding citizenry or hierarchy and monarchy of the Saudi Arabian state was able to save Newcastle that embarrassment.
No shit. Well, remember also Sheffield Wednesday currently League One Sheffield
Exactly.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
God, it's so obviously Newcastle sitting in third place in the Prem currently. Do you think this affects them at all, or do you just
No.
think they just don't fucking care?
Nah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They did not care. That's what I mean. Bruno Guimaraes played 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I did find enjoyable the goal scorer for Sheffield Wednesday's last name is Windass. I'm sure it's pronounced differently. I'm sticking with Windass.
Windass. It's definitely
Windass.
Definitely don't take him out for Mexican.
She's got jokes. She got jokes.
He pooped the ball in the back of the net twice.
So-
You like that?
I do.
And he wheeled away rooting and tooting to the corner flag both times.
So as you already mentioned with Villa, they were
I'm a child.
8th time going out of the cup in the third round. But they were largely in control against Stevenage, League Two Stevenage, who actually currently is in second place and is cruising. And as I kind of said to Mel, it was like, when it comes to this tournament, if you're playing well, it don't matter what league you're in, because you're going to at least walk out there for the first 20 minutes and play your game,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
there's a few things I have to say. First, I blame all the chuckleheads in the Aston Villa group that were putting, we're winning the FA Cup this year before the match started and at halftime. And from what I understand, there was an interview from the locker room. Apparently at halftime is when they found out that if they won the match, they'd have to go to Stoke.
And they were like, oh, let's piss this one
Yeah,
off.
and they were like, fuck that.
I do the same thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Stoke is a terrible place.
Yeah.
Let's get into the ghastly mistakes that ultimately cost them the game. First, the Den Dogker. What are you doing with the ball at your, like, what are you doing?
It's definitely dumb.
Yeah.
But I do think it was a genuine attempt to. Are you talking about the sending off or the first one?
The sending off and the penalty, yeah.
Yeah, I
was
mean-
from Den Donker losing the ball.
So that would be my point of contention if I were a Villa supporter. Is that's the textbook definition of the double jeopardy thing.
And
That
the
should
triple
be
happened outside the box.
a penalty and a yellow,
Right,
not a penalty and a red.
right. And it's
Because
also,
he made a genuine attempt at the ball, he just fucked it that bad.
yeah, he did make an attempt at the ball. And the other thing too is what I assumed was, and Mel and I were watching the game, it was kind of like, I guess the ref is saying he's playing advantage after the shirt pull, because you could easily say shirt pull, yellow card outside the box, free kick.
Well, holding can be a continuation
Right.
foul.
But it was clear what he was giving him the foul for was not the tug of the jersey, but the tackle
Right.
within the box. And you're right. I would say that would be a yellow. I mean, I guess it's not clear and obvious to the ref to overturn would be his excuse, but it seemed very clumsy. But the bigger thing, honestly, is Olsen, why are you passing the ball to the middle of the fucking pitch as
Yep.
they got 3 fucking people closing in?
Both of them, both goals for Stevenage. I think Robin Olsen could be disappointed in himself because the second one got beat at the near post very easily.
That one, so you wonder if they had the 11th man on the pitch, does the short kick get covered? Because Ollie Watkins had to go running out to it, where normally Ollie Watkins
Would have
probably
already
would have
been
been
there.
out there
Yeah.
already.
Uh-huh.
And, we talk about this all the time. A keeper gives the near post for a reason. They want you to go there because they know they can save it.
He was off foot.
Don't show him that much corner. Don't show him that much near post if you ain't going to get to it.
Yeah.
Like you cannot look at, you can't even, yes, somebody should have been out there for the short kicker. You still got to make that save.
But when you're down to 10 men,
have to make
as
that
you say,
save.
he had Ollie Watkins, being a decent header of the ball as well, probably had an assignment.
Yeah.
He just happened to be the closest guy to the ball.
Yeah.
So he goes running out late. And credit to the Stevenage player, whoever it was that scored. He had the wherewithal to see everything that was happening in front of him and execute. And
Yeah.
that's all he can be asked to do, really. But there was a multitude of mistakes that led to both of Stevenage's goals. And Villa had, 71% possession or something in this game?
They just never put the second goal in.
They just never put the second
put it
goal
in.
in.
It's
Exactly right.
because we only play as well as who we're playing against.
That is a trademark of Unai Emery. I told you so.
Oh, it was that way before.
It was that
Unai
way
Emery,
before.
So stop it. It's been that way for a while. Mark Smith, as soon as the game was over, sent me a personal message.
Of course.
Well, that was shite. I was like, yeah, like we play well against teams like Tottenham and we play shit against teams like this. And absolutely, if Emi Martinez is in the goal, we win this game, but we can't rely on one player. That was our Jack Grealish days.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on to the final match of this segment, Geckel reached out to me immediately and went, we suck in the FA Cup. We really suck when we go to Cardiff. This is not going to be pretty. And it was 2-0 pretty fucking quickly for Cardiff.
Yeah, it was, but Leeds dominated the early chances and just could not put them away to save their lives. I mean, there was a fair few, and then towards the end, same thing. Gelhardt put one wide when it seemed to be harder to score.
Yeah.
You know, the only one I think easier that I saw outright than Gelhardt's miss was Chris Woods at the end of that game.
Yes.
That was just so casual. Like, what are you doing? But Leeds
Rodrigo misses a penalty with a sending off as
had
well.
it saved brilliantly, by the way. That was a fantastic save. Now, Rodrigo hit it well, but it was a very comfortable height for the goalkeeper.
Hold on, we saying the keeper made a brilliant save or the guy that got sent off made a brilliant save? Because he really got that hand out and parried it right around the post pretty brilliantly.
Both saves were great, to be honest with you.
Both pretty fucking good.
It would have been funny if he jumped up and, like, you know, goalkeepers would, like, push their defenders away to get ready for the corner. Would have been funny if the defender did that.
Yeah. Fucking I tell you, I figured Jesse's got to be getting annoyed with
Jesse's girl.
they're just not taking advantage of opportunities. And there's too many games where, like, you looked at like this West Ham game in the league where they should have gotten a third. They should have won that match.
They absolutely
like,
should have.
This one, honestly, even after the sending off and they were still down 2-1, they get one at the death to go to 2-2. They should have fucking won this game.
Oh, yeah.
They should have won this game.
But when you give up goals as if Marcelo Bielsa was still your manager, like the first one, was helter-skelter defending again.
Yeah.
I mean, ball's bouncing around, ping-ponging, but put your fucking foot through it at some point.
Yeah, get it
Clear
out
the
of it.
goddamn ball.
Make it go away.
Get yourself reorganized. And for whatever reason, nobody that takes charge of Leeds can get those defenders to do that.
Yeah, you know where a ball that goes on the sidelines is? It's a throw-in. You know what it's not? It's not in the back of the fucking net.
Right.
Sometimes you just get rid of it. I mean, you would hear me all the time if we were helter-skelter. I would just be like, get rid of it. Get
it
rid
out.
of it.
Yeah, get it out.
Gone.
Just
Get
do
rid
something to
of it.
reorganize yourself. Relieve the pressure for a minute and reorganize.
Yeah, just take a second to go, all right, fuck, reset.
Right, who do
Let's
you
go.
have? I've got this guy.
Yeah.
And they just didn't do that. And they were the architects, in my opinion, of their own demise.
Yeah.
Now, Cardiff's second goal, they did play a little bit better football for it. But where was the Leeds defense? Who's tracking that runner? It was absurd. It's schoolboy stuff, really. I mean, how does he find himself that wide open?
Yeah, exactly.
This doesn't make sense. Whatever.
Well,
it's pitiful. I'm starting to. Leeds went from like recently. This is like in the last 3-4 weeks has gone from being, in my mind, like a fun club that I really want to see do well to like now they're annoying me because they're making the same fucking mistakes over and over again and they're not growing.
Right.
And Jesse Marsh is starting to piss me the fuck off because he's giving American coaches a bad name.
Fair enough. So here's the great part though about all of this, and all of this is exactly how it's going to go down. They got their draw. They get the winner of Boreham Wood or Accrington Stanley. So they're definitely going to lose the replay at home to Cardiff. Rounding out the rest of the Prem's Cup results, so that happened. Man U 3, Everton 1, Southampton 2, Palace 1, Leicester 1, Gillingham 0, Tottenham 1, Portsmouth 0, Blackpool 4, Nottingham Forest 1, Burnley 4, Bournemouth 2, Fulham 2, Hull City 0, Brighton 5, Middlesbrough 1, West Ham 1, Brentford 0, Wolverhampton 2, Liverpool 2, Arsenal 3, Oxford United 0. As we already mentioned, VAR hurts Everton. The board are a bunch of idiots because they told Frank that this game mattered, which means he put out a good starting lineup, and now we're missing our key playmaker offensively for 4 weeks because he got taken off on a fucking stretcher because, because the FA Cup fucking means something. When you're battling for a relegate, like, the game means nothing. And oh, great, there was spirit and we hustled. Woo! Not at the cost of fucking Alex Iwobi. It's bullshit. absolute bullshit.
Yep. Same. I completely agree with you. This is a game that you could use to rest people. I mean, I was going to say this is a good spot for it. I was going to say it when we got to Arsenal. Mm-hmm. Our front three started and played 70 minutes.
Why?
Like, if anything, and Saka ended up going off injured.
Right, exactly.
Nothing known about it yet because it just happened today. But
it's the North London Derby this fucking weekend.
What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck?
And at the time he went down, we had a 2-0 lead.
Huh.
Should have been off the field by then.
For Everton, they have Southampton at home and West Ham at West Ham. The next two matches, those are fucking huge.
Very important games.
They are huge
very important
in
games.
Everton's season.
So it's like, what are you doing?
It's
so stupid.
Makes no sense. Now, I will say
That's just terrible.
On a positive side for Manchester United, Ronaldo's gone. They finally needed Rashford to step up. Rashford has stepped the fuck up.
Yeah.
He is looking, even with the disciplinary action, came out, got the game winner, understood what the coach waits, where it stood, why he was disciplined, gets assist here, gets the penalty for, scores the penalty for the third goal.
Yep.
Like, that is exactly what United, if United's going to be in a championship hunt and they're going to make a cup run and things of that age, that guy playing well is paramount because they need somebody up top. They need a tip to the spear.
100%.
Looks like he wants to be that guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, it helps when they try to buy Gakpo, but they take 6 months too long, and Liverpool pips in for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Because we need midfield. Gakpo.
Hey, by the way, I do want to ask you at this juncture, Brighton beat Borough 5-1.
Yeah.
You lost to Brighton 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to only be one goal better than Borough?
I know. Just barely. No.
I've been waiting on that one.
Yeah, I know. And you know what, Sam? That's a good joke.
It makes me feel good.
Good boy. You're alive now. I can tell you what a great joke that was.
It makes me feel good.
So what you're trying to say is that Vardy would be really calm and polite because it was at Fulham, right? That's what it is?
Motherfucker. That was so perfect, but you waved me as in the middle of the joke, the sentence before the punchline. You do this. What am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to be a professional and keep it going.
What Mel, play the laugh track because that was good.
No, you just keep filling it out. You just keep filling it out. Palace and Brentford both lose to Prem counterparts. The one thing concerning for Palace though now is that's 3 losses in a row at Selhurst Park, 2 in the league and then 1 in the FA Cup. And granted, you're not putting your full squad out there, and maybe Southampton's trying to prove something because they just want to get a win.
Well, yeah.
They need that confidence builder.
They also had 2 signings in the works, and I think they needed to show them that they're not joining a sinking ship.
Right, precisely.
Because just after this weekend, today actually, was announced a fee had been agreed for someone from Kenny sent me the story. And I'm trying to remember the name of the team, Racing Club in Spain. I think, I'm pretty sure it's Racing Club de Santander, if I remember correctly. $13.5 million for Carlo Alcaraz.
Okay,
not to be confused with Alcatraz,
which is what it's like to be in Southampton.
They might have one there.
Yeah, they might. That would not surprise
like
me.
a really
it's a coastal town.
Medieval British thing to do is build a prison a mile off the coast.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense, especially the South Coast and the Channel. Oh, yeah, that would definitely make sense. Spurs, Seagulls, Gunners, and Cottagers all just get professional wins is really the way you put it out. Like, Pompey gave Tottenham all they could, but it was, you knew what Pompey was going to do. They were going to pack it in, and they were going to try not to have Tottenham score. Tottenham got 1 goal and saw it out. And Tottenham was like, we're perfectly fine just passing it around at the midfield.
I'm surprised Portsmouth had... I mean, Hugo Lloris was called into action a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Pompey had a proper go at it for their level. Tottenham are just better. It's just unfortunate. And it was, they were running up against the white wall.
And the Seagulls are just... They're playing out of their mind right now. I'll tell you what.
McAllister back on the score sheet here as well.
Fancy them against Liverpool this weekend in their building with the way Liverpool's been playing. And they've done it to Liverpool in their building before. I could see a shocker this weekend for them.
I can't believe Nunez actually scored.
I know. Fucking finally got one.
And I've got... That happens to fall nicely into my loser from last week.
Yeah, exactly. The Foxes finally get a win. It's just like, who fucking cares how?
Yeah, but it's at Gillingham,
Just
though.
get a. And it was 1-0, but who cares?
Nobody cares about Gillingham.
Desperately needed a win. They really did.
May as well play the team from the Isle of Wight.
Yeah. Now, but see, at least they get a win, unlike Forest and the fucking Cherries, who got embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
Embarrassed. Now, granted, in the case of the Cherries, that's the team that's going to be passing you as you're going down. Burnley's coming back up. And that's the case. But fucking Forest, what are you doing, man? Blackpool, and you score your final goal. The final goal was in the 90-plus minute.
They are in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Blackpool are.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
22nd spot.
Got your asses whooped by them.
4-1, I think it was. Yep,
It was
4-1.
It was 4-0 by fucking midway through the second half. They kicked the shit out of them.
The Blackpool's fourth goal was scored in the 87th
Okay,
minute.
sorry,
but
but there were
3-0 at 3-0 at 71.
Kicked the ever-loving shit out of them.
That's
Really.
terrible.
It was, I mean, and it'll be a question that I ask at the end, but let's first go ahead and talk
This
Liverpool.
is interesting. Hold on. Is there any relation between the two Yates boys that scored? Blackpool's Jerry Yates on 87, and then Ryan Yates for Forest in the 92nd.
I do not know.
Me
I do
either.
not know.
Both names though. Jerry Yates more so. Ryan Yates, kinda. But Jerry Yates, serial killer name.
Jerry Yates.
Agree?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
gerrymandering Jerry Yates.
Very serial killer esque. Like I could see a true crime documentary about Jerry Yates. I don't know the guy. He might be a stand-up citizen. I'm sure he is, being a professional. But the name alone sounds like it's somebody that
makes your brain go,
has,
what
like,
the fuck's going on here?
Dahmer glasses. Yeah.
Heard.
This dude like lives in his mom's basement.
Kurt Rambis goggles because he's on the soccer pitch.
That guy's got a body in the basement that he sleeps with. That he's stuffed with old newspapers of himself.
So for Liverpool and Wolves, Wolves far and away the better side.
Oh, yeah,
they
big
had
time.
lots of opportunities, and the new signing, Kudos, played for them today in that match. Looked great. Again, I feel like we were talking about this. I feel like Wolves will spend whatever money they need to fix this and get themselves right, and will probably be okay, right? They may be scraping on at the very end, but I feel like they're going to get it right. And they took advantage of a Liverpool team that, frankly, is not playing well. The only positive Liverpool has to really take out of this, Nunez got on the score sheet.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
it.
so it was 64-36 in terms of possession, Liverpool's favor, but Wolves outshot them 11 total shots, 5 of those on target. Liverpool were at 10-3.
Yeah.
So Wolves had the impetus the entire time and created, like I said, more chances than Liverpool did with a third of the possession.
How somebody offsides when they're not offsides?
I don't know. And there was
Liverpool, that's why.
Yards. The problem is it was in fucking Wolves building.
Yeah.
And the explanation is that VAR did not have a clear-cut angle and therefore couldn't overturn it. So we have to go. They didn't have an angle of where the offsides was. So they have to respect the Lino's decision, which I get, right? If we're not going to overturn it whimsically, and they can't use regular television footage, I guess.
Right.
It has to be their system.
Real quick, Sattery. Patriots, got the documents right here. If you go back and look at the video, the minute the ball went in the net, the ref was running towards the goal, pointed right towards the official, the sideline official, and then the flag went up. There's video evidence.
I get it. I don't disagree. But the explanation they give, I understand. If VAR fails, we have to go with the on-field referee's decision. Okay, fine.
How
I
the
get
fuck
it.
do you not have the right angle?
Well, that's like what happened with the goal line technology one.
Yeah. How
And
do you
was it
miss that?
Sheffield United and Aaron Ramsdale
Right.
when the season they went down? And the ball was
Against Villa.
clearly across the line.
Yeah.
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 And
they missed it completely.
Right. I mean, how does that fail? I get it. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, but it was Wolves look good, and again Liverpool still struggling. You know, hey, we need a midfielder. Let's sign a striker, because that'll solve everything.
Right.
I mean, when all their strikers come back healthy, they're gonna have between strikers and wingers, they're gonna have fucking 9 of them. Like, who the fuck's They're gonna have to turn some of them into midfielders. They're gonna have to move them back
For sure.
You know, because you think about it, you know, there's still Diaz, there's still Jota who's injured. You got Firmino who's injured. And then you have Gakpo who you just got, Nunez, Salah, like Oxlade-Chamberlain. There's too many fucking people.
Yeah.
Way too many people.
100%.
And it seems like, again, they're buying the wrong thing because what they fucking need is midfield help. Midfield help and, frankly, probably a little bit of help in the back, too.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know? You know, I mean, they have to keep putting Joe Gomez on the left in as like a, you know, how baseball does it in the World Series. They'll do a defensive substitute, like a guy who can't hit for shit, but they put him in right field because he's got a good glove and a great arm.
Right.
It's like, they're like, well, fuck, we can't leave Alexander-Arnold out there because he's going to fuck it right off for us. Let's hurry up and get fucking Gomez out there.
Right.
He doesn't play outside back. Don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Better than Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's time to finally just move Alexander-Arnold up to midfield and let him play the position he was meant to play.
Well, exactly.
In the first place.
Use his God-given talent, 100%.
So let's look at all of these kind of teams at the bottom half of the table. Who does this help and who does this hurt? I'm going to kind of throw a few at you. Let's start with the Foxes. Hurt or help?
I think it helps. I think it's another opportunity for them to come together, figure each other out. After the beginning of the season where they lost Fofana, you know, after the season started, they had to rework their entire defense. It gives Danny Ward another, you know, practice drill because he needs them.
Southampton and Wolves, who got positive results.
Southampton, I think it also helps them. I think it helps not necessarily for the squad and the fixture list, obviously, but I think what it does is it helps them be able to pitch to people in January, going, look, we're progressing, we're doing this, we're doing that. Don't look at the league table. We can build on these performances with your help.
And the next match you're playing is at Goodison against Everton, which is the only other team playing as badly as you are right now.
Right. Now with Leicester, what I would do is I would, because you don't have any money to spend anyway.
Yeah.
One more win in the FA Cup, and then fuck the tournament off.
Yeah, just
Nobody cares.
Yeah, don't play your studs, play backups.
Yeah.
Let them if they keep advancing you, awesome.
Keep playing
but,
them.
But don't over. It's just a confidence builder right now. It's a slump buster, as one might say, right?
Well, exactly. That's exactly it. But if they end up going too far, it'll begin to distract from the league.
And then let's go to the three that lost: Everton, Forest, and the Cherries. I'll start with Everton. I would say you would have thought this would have helped because it was a resolute look, the 3-back system. That's what they played against City as well. And you go, okay, this is what we need to be the rest of the season. So formation-wise, you go, that's good. But you lose your best fucking playmaker for no fucking good reason. So for me, it hurts Everton.
100% because of the injury to Iwobi, especially at this period. If your next 3 games were City, Arsenal, United in the league, I'd say doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Fine. But you were probably going to lose those anyway.
Right.
The issue comes in.
It's Southampton and West Ham.
It's Southampton and West Ham, which are teams that are thereabouts your area.
Games that, frankly,
essentially 6-pointers.
Right. Well, and the game at home at Goodison against a team you've already beaten, that should be 3 points.
Yep. Now you don't know.
And then you figure you go to a West Ham who can't score goals right now and tie them.
Exactly.
And you go 4 points, we're in 13th place.
Exactly.
You know, but instead, it can now be 0 points and you're in 20th.
You're in 20th. Yeah.
Because there's
100%.
a chance you could be in fucking 20th because the team in 20th right now is fucking Southampton, right? So you could be in fucking 20th. That is for damn sure. And with West Ham, that's the team directly fucking in front of you right now. Like, it's not good at all.
No.
Not good
No,
at all.
it definitely hurt.
Now, the last two, Forest and the Cherries.
I don't think it matters either way, to be honest. I'm indifferent to what it does to them because they're both shit anyway.
I just think it's going to add to the culture of if one of the two of them go out and play an Arsenal or a Tottenham or a Brighton and they go down 1-0 quickly, they will lose 3 or 4-0 and they will limp off the field. I feel like that was fragile to the ego simply because, well, and particularly in the case of Forest, right? You have 537 different new players on your squad. So, well, in actuality, 27 new signings. You could have put a whole nother team of established professional players on the pitch, and you get your asses kicked by Blackpool?
Yeah.
It's
not a good look.
That is troublesome. Like, at least in the case of Burnley and Bournemouth, like I said, that's two ships crossing in the night. That's Burnley's going up, Bournemouth's going down. That's fine. Like, that's not like...
You know what else was enjoyable? Mm-hmm. And I didn't know they made him that big. Vincent Company had a hat on. It's like Shaq getting shoes, I'd imagine.
Oh, my God.
You got to call New Era and special order it.
Make me start thinking of the Simpsons baseball episode where Ken Griffey Jr. starts drinking the tonic and then starts growing bigger and bigger.
He calls up New Era. Hey, I need a 34. Oh, sir, we don't make pants. Let me tell you something.
Sure money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show that we didn't do last week because there was no Premier League action, where we make bets to better inform you on your bets, and all of our stuff almost always comes through. If you can't sense the sarcasm, you're an idiot.
Sam, you are currently 0 for 16.
0 for 17.
0 for 17.
Minus 1,700.
I am 2 for 16.
Nice.
We are on fire.
And that brings me nicely into my cup of losers. Mm-hmm. Well, shit. Even Nunez has a better strike rate than me. God damn it.
All right.
So how did you fare the last time out in the Premier League, sir?
2 constants for City, and neither of them happened, which was an assist for Kevin De Bruyne and a goal for Erling Haaland, and neither happened in a game that I thought they would easily score 3 or 4 goals because Chelsea's a fucking mess right now.
Nice.
Nothing. So I am now down $968.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
12.5% of the time, Sam. Nice, easy number this time. It works 100% of the time. I know this much. It works a couple more times better than you do.
It's better than 0.
Yeah. Holland and KDB, fuck off. That's what my cup of losers says.
Careful.
Tell you what, there are... What, the Nordic Meat Shield's going to come have a conversation with me?
Yeah, Kevin McAllister's over there fuming. That was the best meme of the weekend, by the way, that I found.
Kevin McAllister all grown up. Look, if that man comes in here to have words with me, Sam, we've won. Okay?
Yeah, right. Your death will propel the show to new heights.
Exactly. You'll figure it out. You'll be all right. You'll learn how to drive the bus just fine. It'll be good. Odds are fucking like
helpful next weekend.
There's a lot of games where like both sides are favored. Like one has 200% $200 odds, the other one has $100 odds. You're like, all right,
I can get behind that.
I can fucks with this, which means 3-game parlay time, Sammy.
There you go.
I am gonna take Leicester to beat Forest at Forest, so that's a tough one.
Ooh.
West Ham to beat Wolves at Wolves, also a tough one. But I think they can do it. And Brentford to beat Bournemouth at home.
Well, if you didn't think they would do it, would you really put money down on it?
No, I wouldn't.
That's implied.
Those 3, okay? Fairly plausible, right?
Yeah.
Check out these odds. Plus $1,053.
Hey, there it is. I got something similar.
That a boy.
Yes, sir.
Fucking boy.
I got something similar.
You win that bet, and I'll stay in Jamaica an extra day.
Fucking come on. Can we make it an extra 2 days? If add another leg to that.
I was going to say, can I put 500 on it and get her to stay for another week?
Exactly. All right. I like it. I like it. So we've got our friend Pat as usual.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
How's the...
What are you all up to?
Just recording a show, high energy, exciting podcast. Thanks for bringing that down.
I can tell you what. I can tell you what Pat's doing.
Pat, the segment killer.
Drinking high octane beer and betting on the national title game tonight.
Yeah.
Is exactly what this guy's
No.
doing. No, you're not fucking with the game.
No, I went to the Maryland game yesterday and then continued to drink high octane beer as I got home into the night. And then, I'm about to go to bed probably. I'll stay up for the first half. Yeah. And, you can make it interesting. But George is probably going to stomp all over him.
Yeah, we're all rooting for TCU because Taylor's dad went to TCU, and Taylor's actually out there for the game.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah,
but you can't tailgate, which sucks. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, that does suck.
What kind of Qatari place is California?
Exactly.
Well, and I'm reading that this is the 4th year in a row that they've not allowed tailgating at the championship game. So it's not just California; it's not a SoFi thing.
You know what sucks? I don't. The sorriest
Damn
state this country's
amateurs.
turning into. Saturday.
Anyways, they should have the game on Saturdays. I mean, Saturday's college football, not Monday nights, but whatever.
They give it to the NFL on Saturday the last week because it's the last week of the season for the NFL.
I know, but whatever.
And I would have rather watched the national title game on Saturday night than as opposed to the joke that Jacksonville and Tennessee was.
You also know what sucks. Last point about this, then we got to fucking move on, all right? This isn't about this kind of football. Is in our country, large football stadiums are far away from any other bars or restaurants or anything else, because normally what you would do is go, okay, I'm going to go get fucked up in a pub for a bit and then march down with my brethren. Right? But you can't, because a football stadium needs 6 miles of parking lots around it in this country.
So you drink in a parking lot.
Which you're not allowed to do. So it's either die of heat stroke in Southern California as you try to fucking walk 8 miles to the stadium, or you just don't drink.
Yeah.
Or you get in your car, right? Parked, lean the old seat back, pop a little mini out from under your taint there. Knock that back, get out, and start praying again.
There we go.
Because apparently that's all you're allowed to do in college football parking lots. Anyway, Pat, you had a bet before we left. How did that go for you?
It lost.
Nice.
They all have been losing.
0 for 3. Well done, guys.
We rock.
Yeah.
We're fucking killing it right
Shocker, Bird got hers right.
now. Yeah. So what do you have going on this week, my friend?
So this week I am going to pull it back, and I am going to only take one game, the biggest game of the weekend. I am going to put all my money on Tottenham at plus 235 against Arsenal, and I am going to put $300 on it. I'm down 700 right now, so I'll either be, and that will pay off at 705. So I will pretty much either be even money or I will be down even $1,000.
Gentlemen,
And it would also piss off Graham big time if the bet
correct
hits.
me if I'm wrong, but isn't it show canon that Spurs never works out well when Pat bets on them?
Chelsea.
Oh, it's Chelsea.
Chelsea's
No,
For his betting, it's Chelsea. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Shows
In
you-
life, it's
Shows you how much I pay
Tottenham
attention.
against Arsenal.
Real quick, boys, I just do have to ask this, Sam, before we see off Pat. We've done this every season. Is there going to be a crisp $1 American bill on the North London Derby, Mr. Graham, between you and Pat?
I'm willing to put that up.
Yeah, why not make it a 10?
I think $1 will suffice.
Villa
I'm
beat
sorry.
Spurs. Aren't you feeling confident?
If Saka didn't go off on a stretcher, maybe.
Aw,
Look, if I can pimp out one of my friends for $1 is a perfectly good bet.
dude.
Okay.
If Saka didn't go off on a stretcher, I might have been willing to make it a $5.
Yeah.
But he did go off on a stretcher, so I'm a little nervous. So $1 is all it is, but virtual handshake.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, perfect. One crisp American dollar bill. I think we can do that. All right, buddy. Well, enjoy your first half props, and don't lose too much, okay?
No. As long as, I'm rooting for TCU too, so I don't really want to put
on it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to, exactly.
Graham bet Georgia, so
I bet Georgia.
The odds are already in our favor.
I bet Georgia to cover the spread at 13.5, which means I'm rooting for
13.5,
TCU.
Yep.
If you're familiar with my betting patterns, that means I'm rooting for TCU.
Yep.
All right, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry we woke you up there. Was yawning half the fucking segment, you cunt. And we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
All right, peace. All right. Thank God that's over.
You go ahead and what you got for us, Mr. Graham?
Oh my God.
A very
That
simple.
was awesome. He's gold. He's gold. He's such
I know.
fucking gold.
It's so funny.
Gold, Jerry. It's gold.
It's gold.
He is the Banya of the group. Ovaltine. All right. Here we go. I'm down 1,700. So I'm going to claw back more than half of it right now.
Okay.
I have Villa to beat Leeds. Sorry, Mel. I've got Fulham and Chelsea to draw.
Okay.
Chelsea's got a lot of injuries at the moment. Fulham's in good form.
Fulham. I like that.
Chelsea should have enough to score a goal. Mitro will score a goal.
Yeah,
So I'd like a score-in draw, 1-1, 2-2 maybe.
And they're right around Fulham's ahead of them in the table.
100%. I like it. So I'm going to Villa to beat Leeds, Fulham and Chelsea to draw, and then City to beat United. That's the bit of reverse psychology in my $100 bet. So hopefully United gets a draw there instead, or wins it, because that's less harmful to Arsenal's chances.
Very good.
That three-way parlay gives me a plus 1,063 smackaroos, which means my $100 bet will more than half my deficit at the moment.
Fabulous.
Nice. That's another day in Jamaica for me.
It's only a matter.
2 days if we both hit. We didn't bet the same games.
How is Graham's money paying for your Jamaica trip?
I'll donate. Don't worry.
Oh man,
she's been kind of a bit more neutral lately, and not so much on my side.
So you're ready to get rid of her?
She could use some time away for a minute. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
By the way, HR is checking in on the chats and says, "Aw, matching shirts. How cute."
Well, we match with Taylor, not you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know who's always awake and peppy and ready to have a good segment?
Probably the chicken, because she's on all that cocaine.
Kitty the chicken.
Hey, don't tell me our scrambled eggs doesn't wake you up. So, Kitty hit with her draw, and she sits at 10-7. Now, a little bit of controversy. While Kitty did pick a draw, she mentioned that Russell Crowe was a West Ham supporter, and that is flat out wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently she got a text from him after the show dropped. Which
I would
tells
assume
you,
maybe Mr. Geckel also reached out to her as well to let her know.
I was going with the lore that Russell Crowe listens to the DU football show, but if you want to put it on Dave Geckel, by all means.
I was going to say he really listens to Kitty, not necessarily our show.
Now, he is a West Ham supporter, and so...
No, lead supporter.
You said she did mention that Russell Crowe was a West Ham supporter. Oh,
Right.
and that's flat out wrong.
Wow, look at that. Reading's fun. Words are cool.
Mr. Crowe also supports Leeds or only supports Leeds?
Only supports Leeds.
Mr. Crowe supports Leeds, and perhaps she needs to have a chat with her ghostwriter or needs to hire a stat boy like Geckel.
You know, probably would cover everything. Maybe her quote-unquote ghostwriter, a.k.a. me, should do a little bit better job with his writing.
Don't give it away. The chicken writes these notes herself.
So this week, I gave the chicken, who writes this herself, the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. Now, Kitty immediately started humming Blue Moon.
I know we're going out on injury time. It's been ages since I've heard that song, and I fucking love it.
The Sha-na-na version, definitely.
That is a Sam Graham Sr. special, that.
Very good.
So it looks like she's picking the noisy neighbors to beat United.
Now, Mr. Graham, I do have to tell you, yes, she writes it herself, but she does need somebody to interpret the chicken to English so producer Mel can read it. So that's where she needs a ghostwriter.
Heard.
You know, maybe that ghostwriter should pay a little bit more attention to her
I know Mel
interpretation.
really should look at the language more, because she just said cockfart ass. Barack rock.
Oh, I have another message from Kitty.
What's that?
She says, Brock, and always remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
I didn't bother putting it in this week. There were no games.
No, because the championship sides also joined the FA Cup in the third round.
But
what I
if
will
anybody
do,
wanted to read the DU football season 5 rundown, it says Championship Corner, no game since January 2nd.
Well, that's fine. So I can
Which
go
page? Which page is that on? Not the page after the kitty bit, so I'd have to go back to first page of the script to hit the cue.
There
after
is
the
no
third
script,
page of the
but that's how,
script.
it's the outline. Okay.
Bark, bark.
Very good. Go ahead, Mr.
Ass. She's like the bartender from Boondock Saints over there. You know,
Wait, which-
people in glass houses sink ships.
Hold on, Sam. Which coach that we watched play over the weekend is Kitty impersonating now? Brock.
Is it your
No, the
count coach?
Wrexham coach. The way he likes to say
yes.
fuck.
Yes, very true.
Fuck.
Did he say fuck in his interview?
No, in the show they do a lot with him. And as Rob would call it, he was like, "Yeah, coach was being motivational."
Yeah.
Every time they're losing at halftime, he's like, "Get your fucking asses out of your fucking ass! Fucking play! You know how to fucking play! Go out there and hit a motherfucker!" Like just screaming at him, and it's fuck the entire time.
Does his name happen to be Sam?
Yeah.
That's how I coach. Trust me, I don't coach your kids that way.
And he does. He gets a letter from the league.
Yeah. So instead of obviously doing Championship Corner, which we're not doing because the championship was playing in the FA Cup, what I will do is what I wanted to do earlier, and that is find the FA Cup scores here and run through a couple of notable results.
Very cool.
I do want to quickly shout out Oxford United against us today for 66 minutes or whatever it was. They were fucking excellent.
Yeah, they played really well.
They
played
pressed
really
well. They hurried us. They did. They didn't create much in the way of chances, but they made it very fucking difficult. And I swore it was going to go to a replay.
Yeah, it was a good set piece goal by El Neni that finally broke the deadlock. But
And once
they
we
were playing
scored,
well.
you got the feeling that once we scored, the floodgates were going to open, and
And they
very
did.
quickly we were 3-0 up.
Yeah.
But they played their asses off, and they deserve a mensch.
Absolutely.
But Walsall beat Stockport 2-1.
Very cool.
So it's another lower league team into the next round. Stoke beat Hartlepool 3-0, which is uncharacteristic for Stoke, scoring 3 goals in a
what the
fucking
fuck
game.
are you doing scoring 3 goals?
Right, I would have liked to seen Hartlepool go through. There are some ones.
It's still a championship side.
Derby down on their luck in recent times, of course.
Down in League
3-0
One right
winners. 3-0 winners at Barnsley. So they're going through.
I think that's also 2 ships in the night because Barnsley's been on a big kind of a drop lately.
Yeah,
too.
no, absolutely. But that's fine. Grimsby, as I mentioned before, 1-0 over Burton Albion. That was another one of the fun games that you get a guaranteed lower league side in the next round. They are Grimsby Town is in League 2, excuse me. And Burton Albion are in League 1, so it is an upset, a cup set, if you will. Fleetwood Town beating QPR. This is a fun fact that you'll enjoy. Fleetwood Town beating QPR now makes QPR the all-time record third-round exits.
Really? Okay.
51 times.
Wow.
In their history, they've gone out the first round of the FA Cup more than any other side.
QPR, no, so good.
No, not in the FA Cup at least.
No.
So Fleetwood Town also League 1 going through, which is always fun to see. Bournemouth and Accrington, so we could get another League 1 side to go or a non-league side. Obviously, they got the replay finishing in a 1-1 draw. Accrington leading in that game as well.
For most of the match.
Right, and Bournemouth coming back and scoring what was about 75 minutes or so, which is pretty good.
You know what? They're going to Ben K's perfectly manicured pitch. Bournemouth don't got a chance.
Right, and then you had Ipswich beating Rotherham 4-1, which is a pretty big result.
Yep.
Ipswich Town, excuse me, of course,
League 1, right?
is a League 1 side as well.
And Rotherham was a recently promoted League 1 side, but they're in the championship.
They are in the championship, but
likely going down.
yeah.
Sorry for cutting you off. My apologies.
No, either way, still good. Reading have had their troubles. They're still a championship side, but they beat Watford 2-0, who are flying high in the championship. So that's a bit of an upset as well. Preston North End beating Huddersfield. They're, around the same spot. So a couple of championship sides going through. Like I said, with the replay of Liverpool and Wolves, you have another guaranteed Premier League side going out. So a record 9 Premier League clubs are gone in the third round.
And if Leeds lose to Cardiff, half the Premier League could be out of the FA Cup.
Absolutely. And now you also have next round, half the Premier League will be out because Arsenal have drawn Manchester City. So that's one more guaranteed Premier League exit.
Yep.
whoever it is. If today, what City play yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
If that's anything to go by, they're going to play a week inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that week inside scored 4 goals on Chelsea, though.
Yeah, but we're not Chelsea, mate.
Yeah, it's true. Very
Come
true.
on. I named my team after this exact Chelsea situation. My fantasy team, remember?
Yep.
On the Mourinho plan is my team name.
On the Mourinho plan.
Win the league, finish in 10th.
Yep, exactly.
So this is the exact form that Chelsea show whenever they change coaches. So it's this is why this weekend is fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's the giant killings. It's the exciting nature just of we could fucking go home today. It's a knockout competition. It's the oldest NCAA tournament in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? For Americans, that's the best way I could describe it to you. It's the NCAA tournament, but with 700 fucking teams in it.
And also,
it's awesome.
Also, keep in mind where every few years, a 15 beats a 2 or a 16 beats a 1, which has only happened once. This happens every
year you get one.
Year.
Yeah, every year you get
There's
one.
Stevenage and Aston Villa separated by 59 places in the league table. Like, this shit happens, and it happens a lot.
It's also a fun, I've learned a lot of my geography stuff that I know from football.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, like, who's this random French side?
Right.
Oh, well, they play in this area of France. Half of my wine tests.
You remember the
club better than I do the grape varietal grown there.
Like,
but
Saint Etienne, Bordeaux.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's football was my first kind of foray into proper geography.
Yeah.
And it's always super fun. Now, it's annoying. ESPN's coverage is kind of shit. It's all behind a paywall. It's difficult to deal with. That I get all that stuff, and I completely agree. But it is super fun to get the geography lesson. It's super fun to take this tour of England. Just flip on a game with 2 teams you never heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll see today there were people standing on cars outside of Oxford.
Yeah, pretty
to
fucking
see
cool.
over the end of the stand.
Pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. There were a couple of years ago at Boreham Wood, I think it was, people hired a cherry picker.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours for a cherry picker is more expensive than a ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's awesome to see.
Yep.
Tickets were sold out. They couldn't get them. So you know what? I'll pay double because I want to see my fucking team.
Yep.
Get in the cherry picker, raise myself up over the end of the stand. I'm watching a fucking game, and no one cares.
Yep.
If that was the NFL,
people sitting in their backyard looking over top of the stands and watching the match.
If that was the NFL, they would have called in a fire truck. Mm-hmm. They would have extended the ladder. When you didn't get down, they would have set fire to the cherry picker.
Yeah, exactly. So
get on a fucking ladder or don't. Your choice, Scott. But we got money to make off this.
Very good.
But the lower leagues don't give a shit, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It really is so much fun. It does annoy me that the teams are playing under 2 sets of rules. But that's a nitpicky thing.
All right. So I was going to say any parting words, but I kind of feel like that was parting words.
That was it because Mel played the thing and there was nothing to talk about. So I just decided to do them then. It's her fault. She fucked it.
All right. Very good. I love it. And there will be
Enjoy Jamaica.
There will be a preview show for the 5th round of the FA Cup simply because there'll be a full week for us to actually do it. There's a lot of research that goes into that. And frankly, between Mel's birthday, my birthday, end of year, all that shit, we couldn't pull it off. It just wasn't going to happen.
No, and be real. There's minimal research that goes into that.
Dude,
but for us, it's a lot.
It's a lot. That's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Next up is Injury Time, where you can listen to us talk about the beers we've been drinking, check in on our adopted clubs, our fantasy league, and then preview the weekend's action. Sam, should somebody want to find Injury Time, how do they go about doing it?
One last time, it's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to one of those special tiers. There is only one. It's only $5. And you get both of our extra shows. Sound Check, which is our actual sound check. Today, there was the invigorating noises of Sam flipping papers while me and Mel stared at each other for a bit. And then I asked for more juice in my headphones.
Yeah.
And then we kind of ended it.
And then the Calm app told us how to have a wee wank.
That's right. I forgot about that. Have a little cuddle first. Get your mouth good and salivated. Lick your hand.
Till next week, everybody.
Find that little almond and press it.